Hey, y'all, come on in. Come on in. We are back. We are here again live to talk about the Wealthy Sisters Network Money Masterclass. Those of you that have been with us this whole time, thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have you. We're back. We got a whole nother lineup. Some faces you're familiar with and some you may not be. But one thing is for sure, tonight you're going to get so much information. Remember what I always say, get a pen, get us some paper, take some notes, and most important, get ready to join the masterclass. That's the most important thing. So tonight we're talking about women and poverty. We're also going to be talking about finances, accounting. We're going to be talking about insurance. We're going to be talking about our experiences as sisters and the impact that mentors and sisters have made in our lives. It was so wonderful Saturday night, the stories that were shared. If you do not have a chance to join us, you need to go back and watch that replay. There was so many nuggets of knowledge that you can apply to your life that will absolutely change your life. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce the ladies on the panel. Of course, my name is Chanel Blackmore. I'm the CEO of Wealthy Sisters Network. I'm excited to have you here. I'm going to throw it on over to Jacqueline, who is the COO of Wealthy Sisters Network. Jacqueline, will you tell everyone what it is that you do and what you're going to be talking about during the masterclass?
Oh, absolutely. Good evening, everyone. Jacqueline J. Smith here. I am the insurance lady, and I'm also your Chief Operating Officer for Wealthy Sisters Network. Well, I tell you what, during the Money Masterclass, we're going to get into it. No one likes to talk about it, and it may not be sexy, but we got to get into the life insurance, y'all. So that's what we're going to do. I'm just letting you know, so be prepared. But it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to say it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting, and you're going to learn something.
Now listen, don't get mad, because y'all know how we do. We go and try to sell fish plates. And people don't even eat fish. You're trying to get them to buy plates because you gotta bury Ray Ray. Listen, time out for that. Y'all, we gotta grow up. And look, I'm telling you from experience. I'm not telling you about something I read about. I'm telling you from experience. As a child, I can remember that. Selling stuff, eggs, milk, you sold a cow. Look, I'm honestly, true story. We had to one time I ended up selling a family member's car to bury him. That's how real it got. Couldn't leave anything to his child because we used everything he had to get him buried. So listen, that's not anything to play with. Listen to what Jacqueline have to say. Join this Money Masterclass so you can get the information. And listen, it's not just one type of policy either. And Jacqueline's going to talk about that. So let's go on over to Follow Sade. Follow Sade, will you tell everybody what it is you do and introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, good evening. I'm Falashade, the accountant to entrepreneurs. So I basically educate entrepreneurs on how to, one, never pay more tax than what you're supposed to, and two, prevent you from falling into cash flow problems by giving you the resources, knowledge, and expertise that you need to really prevent your business from failing. So I basically connect the dots between your taxes and your books and give you the true picture of your overall health of your business. So that's basically what I do, Chanel.
So that's for y'all that's taking people to lunch, talking about it's a lunch date, and you don't even say the receipt.
Right.
That's for y'all out there. I remember when somebody told me, "Oh, so now you can write this off as a business lunch," and I was like, "Oh, what I got to do? Where your receipt?" Man, it's those little things. I'm telling you. Hey guys, those of you that are watching, I need you to share the video. Shalonda, hey girl, thank you so much for coming back and joining us. I want to say hey to Miss Henry. Miss Henry, hey, thanks for showing up tonight. Y'all share the video. Put the bit.ly link in the comments, bit.ly, Money Masterclass 17. That is how you can join us, be a part of Wealthy Sisters Network. The Money Masterclass, guys, it is free of charge. Listen, where are you going to go and get a conference? Because it's a virtual conference. Let's just be real. With over 9 different presenters talking about things that will affect your finances. Where are you going to get that for free? I'm just going to put it out there. You're not. You're never going to have the opportunity to have this much information given to you at no cost. But I'm going to tell you, wisdom is key. If you know that you might be working, you might miss a night, go ahead and join Wealthy Sisters Network for $27 a month. It's y'all, it is 1-2 burger meals a week. Just skip them and take that money and invest it in your financial future. It's just that simple. Dr. Regina, I'm going to hand it on over to you. Will you introduce yourself and tell everyone what you're going to be talking about during the master?
Peace and blessings, family. It's a pleasure to be here with these phenomenal women in the same field. My name is Dr. Regina A. Turner, your financial empowerment maven strategist, queen of prosperity. I help you to protect your family from identity theft, credit protection, credit restoration, and putting your will and trust in place so that you can protect your family, so that you can leave a legacy for them, so that you can live a life of financial prosperity. And that's what I'm going to be talking about, especially with all this identity is going on right now, how to protect yourself appropriately and effectively, as well as filling your toolbox with the tools and strategies that you need to implement on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you, Dr. Regina. Listen, y'all stop putting y'all lights in y'all children's name. That's what she's talking about. I'm telling you. Hey, if we're gonna be transparent, we're gonna be transparent. Don't y'all jump off Facebook. I'm not kidding though. Don't do that. Y'all are ruining your children's lives before they can even get a chance to use their own credit. I remember when I was 9 years old, I had a light bill. I'm like, I don't even know how to pay a light bill. But people do that, and it's not right. So I definitely want to talk about that. And especially if you are an adult now and you are feeling the impact from something like that, it's important for you to know how to turn that thing around. Lysandra, did we already talk with you? Lysandra, introduce yourself and tell everybody what it is you're going to be talking about during the Money Masterclass.
Hey, my name is Lysandra Everett. I am affectionately known as the Home Biz Tax Lady. I help home business owners win the tax game by helping you keep more of the money that you earn and pay less to Uncle Sam in taxes. I live by the creed. Jesus said, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. I say don't give Caesar a dime more than what's coming to him. And I am going to be talking about the tax benefits of a home business. We're going to really talk about that, the good and the bad.
That's what's up. That's awesome. So listen, hey guys, those of you that are watching us, thank you again for showing up. Hey Joan, I just want to say hi to you. Erica, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Stephanie, thanks for joining us. So listen, let's just get to it. So I know over the last couple of days, we've been talking about sisterhood, and we even talked a lot about as how we grew up as children and what sisterhood looked like to us. You know, I tell y'all, my grandmother raised me. I'll be 47 years old Friday, but I think I'm 87 for real. Because my grandmother raised me like a little old lady, and I think that I learned so much from that experience living in that household with older people. Because older people just do things differently. Not saying that we, don't do things the right way, but there is some value in looking at the wisdom that they had and how they raised children, how they handled their finances, and the different things that they did. And the most important thing is the communities that they built. There's a lot of things that happened at church that as children, we had no idea, but they were building community. They were stepping up, supporting each other, and they were transacting business after church. Can I buy some eggs from you? Do you have sugar? Do y'all have has the cow made milk yet? Did you slaughter a hog? It's those things. But what I want to make the point of is that everything they needed was in their community. And my question is tonight, how do we as women build that community so that we can support each other when things like that go down, like when your credit is bad or when you need to bury Ray and you don't know who to go to. So I want to talk about that tonight. Dr. Regina, can you share some insight on how we can get back to that, building that community as women to support each other?
Well, one way I would say that we need to get back to a community is sharing unconditional love. Always giving out unconditional love without expecting anything in return. Because you got to remember, the seeds you sow is going to come back to you 100-fold. We have to practice the law of reciprocity, because at the end of the day, the seed that you sow out unconditionally is going to come back to you in some form or another. You can't always look at it, well, I put it out in money, so I'm going to get it back in money. It could be in a good deed. It could be just in that I encourage you, I uplift you. I'm going to show you the tips and strategies that's going to help catapult you so that you can advance, so you don't get in this predicament again. Let's get together and build a community, a network of women that we can share information with one another, so that we can have these tools, and our toolbox is so solid that we know how to go in there and pick out the appropriate tools that's going to fit any situation, so that now our community is getting that so much structure. Like when Abraham couldn't hold his own arms up, he had to have his community hold his arms up, and we have to get back to that. Hold each other arms up. No matter if you like that person or not, it's not about you. It's about the overall goal at mind. You got to make sure that your goal are oriented, and making sure that your strategy is in place. What is it going to be for me? Because I never know when I'm going to be in a situation. That's why I'm always prayerful. Whatever I can do for you, I'm always smiling, no matter what's going on in my life, because I can brighten up your day and make you have a great day, because you may be on the ledge ready to jump off. So if I hug you and engulf you in my community, then now you're part of me. When you hurt, I'm going to hurt. So now that makes me want to go out and be that much more passionate for you. So I think that's what we need to do, is get back to community, loving on each other unconditionally, making sure we take care of each other kids as if they were our own, as if they came from our own womb, making sure that we show that unconditional love every day. God is love. So therefore we have to be love. We have to mimic what God is mimicking us. He has downloaded us to be wealth in creation. So what we visualize, we materialize, so that we can bring to manifestation. So that's one of the key tools for me that I live by.
That's awesome. I wrote down a couple of little things that I'm going to talk about, but I want to go over to follow Sade so she can have weigh in on this. I do want to speak to Deborah. Deborah, thank you so much for joining us. Shirley, thanks for joining us. Carolyn, welcome, welcome everybody. Share the video. Don't forget the real reason why we're here, to build community, to talk sisterhood, and to talk and invite you to the Money Masterclass, bit.ly/Money Masterclass 17. It is free for you. Click the link, sign up. It's in the comments. Click that link. You do not want to miss not 1 minute of this valuable information. One word can change your life. I'm telling you, there's not a lady on this panel, and not many ladies that's watching, that won't attest to that. One word from the right person, one divine connection can change the trajectory of your life. I promise you. We're not telling you something that we haven't experienced. Come on, Father Sade, tell us a little bit about your experience and what you think.
Okay, so my basic experience is the fact that I think as women, we need to be a little bit more transparent and stop living a facade. I think that's where the barrier comes, because how can we help? How can we sow a seed or really assist when there's a time of need if you're not willing to be open and honest about it? They say a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And in this particular case, as women, we've been brought up to be able to put on makeup and cover up our scars. And for us to really build community, we have to let go of the makeup and reveal the scars. But what real woman of color is comfortable with that? So it goes back again to transparency, Chanel. We have to kind of be humble too and say, you know what, regardless of what such and such say, you know what, this is my story. I don't care. I need help. You understand? Like when I was growing up, Chanel, me and my mom, we struggled so much. And my mom wasn't ever boisterous about the struggles that we were enduring. But Come to find out, people that were very observant saw it, and then they sowed their seed. So like my aunt, she brought food over the house. It wasn't much help because as women, especially African American women, we know how to keep a secret. And my mom kept a secret until the eviction notice came, and she was in a hospital and sick. So guys, before it gets to that point, before it gets to the eviction notice, before it gets to you being on your deathbed and being sickly, why won't you become transparent and let the community do what the community is supposed to do?
Yeah, listen, and let me tell y'all something. That was a mouthful, because you're right. You're absolutely right that we as women, we know how to keep quiet. We know how to keep things, like we say, keep our business out of the streets.
Yep.
And a lot of times we will, to our own detriment, avoid sharing with other people that we are having an issue. Jacqueline, you want to weigh in on this?
Absolutely. I truly believe that one of the ways that we build community, I mean, it's wonderful. I'm sure we have hundreds, if not thousands, of people online with us right now from all across the country and all across the world. But there is nothing like putting your arms around someone's neck and loving on them, and you build community personally. And I can attest to that because this afternoon, Miss Lusandra and I actually got to break bread with each other together. We met. I had not seen her. The only way that I knew her was that she signed up to be a presenter in the Money Masterclass. And I happened to notice that she lived in the same area as I was. So one of the other things is you have to not be afraid. You have to not be afraid to reach out to people. And I just asked, if you're open to meet, we're in the same area. If you're open to it, would love to, have a conversation with you. And she was like, absolutely, wonderful. We set a date, we got together, and, I tell you what, she poured some stuff into me today that, ooh, Lord, if you only knew, it's going to come out, but I'm just saying. So again, you have to have those one-on-one conversations. You have to develop those relationships. You can develop a relationship online or, through these live streaming events and things of that nature. But again, nothing like being in the same room with someone to be able to actually look in their eyes and talk to them one-on-one.
Look at that. The Wealthy Sistas Network making connections. That's what this is all about, y'all. I'm a little jealous, but that's okay. I'll get over it. But, anybody in Dallas, y'all want to go to lunch, put it in comments. If y'all want to go to lunch with me, I'm jealous now. I feel some kind of way. But that's beautiful. That's exactly our goal, is to connect with women, from all across the nation, internationally. I had a young lady that's in Nigeria that reached out during our last broadcast that was like, we need this in Nigeria. And it's true. Women all over the world need sisterhood. We need that connection. We need to be able to, let our hair down, so to speak, and not be judged for it. Lusandra, what you want to add about this whole thing about sisterhood and building community?
I mean, community is how we survive. We were never meant to be independent. We were meant to be interdependent. I mean, everything about our history is about being interdependent. And, the truth is that, when you really build that community, suddenly everything is multiplied, right? Because you're a little bit over here, you're a little bit over here, and you're a little bit over here, and you put that together and it grows exponentially, right? It's kind of like you got eggs, I got milk, I got flour, suddenly we got biscuits and everybody happy, right? So, so that is what the community part is for. And Falashade is right. It's about being transparent about what the needs are. And when you can really sit and have a conversation, like with Jacqueline, we had a great time just connecting and just talking. We talked about everything. We talked about business. We talked about family. We talked about, all of that stuff. And, that's something that is irreplaceable. You can kind of get it on Facebook, but, to walk into a restaurant and squeeze somebody that you've never met before, like you hadn't seen them in 15 years, you know, you can't put a price tag on that. You can't put value on that. So, so I encourage people, like she said, to not be afraid to reach out to people to say, hey, do you just want to get together and just sit down and just talk about everything, talk about nothing? We can talk about nothing, right? So, but it is about that transparency and not being afraid to reach out. I mean, my husband, he's like, you just talk to everybody. Well, we go on vacation. I come back, well, like, okay, so this is what's about to happen, right? Like, how do you know this? Because I talked to that lady over there. Why are you talking to everybody? Because that's how you build community, right? Yes, you got to talk to people. And we have gotten to the point where we're so closed off because we are so afraid that someone is going to take advantage of us. And the truth is that if someone does take advantage of us, it's not our fault. It's their fault. Now, if they take advantage of you more than one time, that's your fault. But when you are open and being willing to share and someone takes advantage of that, that says more about them than it does about you, because that's what you're supposed to do. We're supposed to share in this thing together. So, we have to get past the point of being so closed off that we start to let people in again.
That's a great point. And Celeste, Carolyn made a statement in Facebook. She said that women have to stop looking at each other as competition and just do what we love to do, which is help people. That's a great comment. And I think that's a good leading question to the next thing is, if we're building community like you and Jacqueline did, Lysandra, today, you guys met and had lunch. What do you see as the major barrier for that? What do you think that women should be doing so that we can connect? Because listen, just on this panel alone is over 30 decades of knowledge. I mean, when you think about it that way, I've lived, Dr. Regina has lived, Sade has lived. When you think about the wealth of knowledge and experience that's represented on this panel, and dare I not go into Facebook Live and poll some of these women that are watching us, there's so much to be discovered and so much to be shared. What's that barrier? But I know it's the don't tell your business, but what other barriers are there that keep us from connecting as women? Dr. Regina, what are your thoughts on that?
The other barriers is fear and the fact that we were always told growing up, whatever happens in this house stays in this house. I don't care if we stumble in, we don't have nothing to eat. You don't tell the neighbor, you don't tell your friend, you definitely don't tell the teacher, and you don't go someplace begging for something that you don't have. You just deal with what you have, and that was it. So that was another form of a facade or a mask that we had to continuously, just be mapped into and be and deal with that functionality, which was a barrier for us. And as kids growing up, you stagnated your growth because you was voiceless. You didn't have a voice to let people know, I'm hungry. And those were just the bare essentials. And this goes on today, that some children are afraid to tell what's going on. And we have to change and break that cycle, because it's a bad cycle. It's a cycle of poverty. So we as women, us coming forward today and sharing this information is powerful to let other women, they don't have to suffer in silence any longer. We could come together, be a community. It's enough information. We may have the same fields, but we all have a different interpretation of what it is. So let's bring all that knowledge together and monopolize on it so that we can empower and uplift each other and continuously to be that support, because that's the only way we're going to prosper.
So Father Sade, my thing is this. If we are not looking at each other as competition, if we are looking at each other truly to say that, Dr. Regina is my sister, I want to see her get ahead, how do we communicate that in a way that it's well received by women? How do we make those statements? How do we bring them in to the level where we are? In our organization, we don't have that. We don't have that competitive spirit. We don't have that judgmental spirit. And I'm just telling you the truth. We don't have that. You know, so how do we communicate that to the masses so that they can understand what it is that's represented here?
I think it starts internally first, Chanel, simply because for a woman to let go of their guard, to withdraw their guard, to feel strong and comfortable around one another, we all have to let go of any forms of insecurities. But we also have to tell a person when we admire them or when we look up to them. So when you are looking for advice, or when you are looking for that hand for assistance or guidance, or when you need to slightly duplicate a little bit of their processes, it won't seem like you're being a copycat, and that Chanel, by you not being honest and upfront like that, it's going to now break that barrier. It's going to tell that person, okay, oh, she never told me that she looked up to me, but she copied my stuff. You know, I'm the type of woman is, if you look up to somebody, Chanel, you're supposed to say, you know what, I admire you. You know, I like what you're doing, you know, and look, if it look like I'm copying, boo, I'm not. I just admire you, and the love is still there, I think, and then we can continue to build. But it starts with that. If we want to level up with each other, we have to first show admiration. We have to show appreciation for their craft. You cannot sit there and say, oh, well, you know, I love you. We're going to help each other build. We're all in the same industry, this, and there's no overlap. And I think we're just going to have to first put out on the table, hey, Lysandra, you're in the tax game. I like what you're doing over there, boo. You know, can I try that out? Hey, Falashde, you're doing, you know, I think we just have to be open and honest and upfront with one another. If you admire each other, say it. And I think that it take away so many of the insecurities, so much of the competitiveness, and so much of the other attributes that as women we are lacking. See, men, they straight up, hey, dude, yeah, man, that rock. I'm gonna do that tomorrow with my girl. They straight up will say it. You know what I mean? And the dude like, hey, man, do it. Go ahead. Yeah, I hope it work. You know, but with women, we try to sneak around the corner and do what such and such is doing instead of saying, you know what? I admire what you do. Can I duplicate that, or can I try that? And I think that'll allow us to remain and to keep the respect there and the growth there, but also be open to share each other with each other's community too. And then to keep whatever chaos or problems out of the window.
While you were talking, I wrote down, we're more likely to share gossip than we will something helpful and something positive. Yep. And and with this society, cultivating that type of mentality with all of the reality TV that you see on television, you know, women tearing each other down, you know, and for the most part, it's constant. There's not a channel you can't turn it on where they have a group of women who are supposed to be friends, but they're frenemies, you know, and they're doing this thing, you know, where they're talking about each other. And I just think that fuels this whole separation and this whole pseudo sisterhood that we see portrayed, you know, on the television. Lysandra, go ahead and jump in and let's talk about that. Let's talk about that, transitioning that mindset from one of competition to one of true sisterhood. You know, what does that look like from your standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, it does start with setting the example, right? Like, you know, like I'm on Falasha Day's lives all the time. I stalked her for a minute until I found her live, right? But even though we're in the same field, I don't have a problem sharing her content with my audience. I don't have a problem with that at all, because, you know, like you said, we're so busy competing to not realize there's enough room for everybody to win. Right. And, you know, it's that, you know, I got to look better than her. I got to be the cutest one in the room. I got to, you know, no. And it's about being okay admiring someone and not feeling less than because you admire someone, right? Because, you know, we all are at varying stages in our career. And, you know, and if you really pay people the respect that they deserve, that's going to be returned, right? And so, you know, the competitiveness, the cattiness, like you said, the whole frenemy stuff. If we If we would stop for one moment and really band together, you see the story about a woman who wound up getting shot because she was confronting some other woman who was pregnant by a boyfriend. So the woman wound up dead, the woman still pregnant, and the boyfriend, he where at? But what if these women had gotten together and said, oh, no, 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 he the one that got to go, right? This is not anything against men, but it's about the woman's mentality. Because see, we want to go against each other when really we are our strongest bonds. When we really get together, it's on and popping, right? Because we put our collective energy together and we really work to build something together. And then that's when stuff starts to happen. But we have to start with modeling that ourselves, with being okay with sharing a stage with somebody that does the same thing that we do, with being okay that somebody might be at a higher level in business that you are, that knows more than you do. Well, instead of being mad that they know more than you do, go find out how they've learned what they know. That's me. I'm like, where'd you read that? What's going on? And if you humble yourself enough to ask, I guarantee you that person's going to tell you.
That's good. And I like what you said about, when there's this opportunity for there to be conflict, when there's this opportunity for there to be friction, that instead of looking at each other as the enemy, we identify, no, this is something that's divisive. This is something that is an opportunity for us not to come together, but for us to be pit against each other. I love what you just said there. That was awesome. So listen, those of you that are watching us right now, share the video. If you shared the video, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to go to bit.ly/moneymasterclass 17, snag your spot, because what I don't want to have happen is for all of the slots to be filled and you can't get in, you can't get a replay because you're not a Wealthy Sistas Network member, and now you've got all this information that you're going to be missing. So don't miss out. Make sure that you are not the one left out at the water cooler when everybody's talking about what went on the night before. Y'all know we're good for that. All right, so listen, I want to ask this because I know that we've been talking about coming together as a community, coming together as sisters, sharing information. How is it that men are more likely to build a community that's more close-knit than women when we're nurturers? How is it that what value can we find in that, so that way we can mirror that success that men are experiencing? Let's go to Dr. Regina. Dr. Regina, what you think about that?
For me, from having numerous conversations with my husband, who I always pick his brain because I want to know from a male's point of view, how is it that y'all can be mad with each other one second and the next second y'all pounding each other like nothing happened? But women, we carry a grudge forever. He said, because it ain't about us. It's not about us. It's about the ultimate goal and the fact that we can forgive. Y'all hold on to everything. We're not emotional. Y'all so emotional. Y'all so into your feelings. If you get out of your feelings, then you'll be able to move to the ultimate goal. And now you have a mission and the movement keeps going. Instead of you being all messed up in your feelings and all discombobulated, now you can move forward and now you can advance to the ultimate goal. So I think because the camaraderie and their brotherhood is so tightly knit that they don't have to worry about the jealousy. They don't have to worry about the empathy or the feelings involved, because they don't even let that be a factor.
Wow. Well, that is something that we need to learn from them, because I have been known to give a side eye every now and then. I'm gonna do better though. But hey, y'all, look, Danielle, has joined us. Hey, Coach, we're so excited to have you.
I'm gonna need y'all not to do all that. I just came to say hey. But you know what was so powerful about what Dr. Regina said? She said sometimes you got to choose the mission versus the emotions. And this week in my business, I had to make some very emotional decisions, some decisions that I felt were standing in the way of my mission. And I had to just do it. It was no good way. It was no clean way. It was no fun way. I just had to do it. And I think that that's what men do differently. I think if I were a man, that decision would have been made a long time ago. You know, I wouldn't have held on to somebody because I know their situation and I'm trying to help them in their situation. You know, people got to help themselves in their situation. So, as women, we have a hard time choosing between the mission and the emotions. And I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the men don't even like each other like that, but they know that they need each other we haven't figured out we need each other. Let me just put it there. We haven't figured out we need each other to be successful. We haven't figured out we need each other to get to the next level. We haven't figured out that nobody does this by themselves and that everybody is just a part of a bigger pool. And the minute we figure that very few of us make it without support, and even Oprah, you may look at Oprah as an icon and she's by herself. When she first started in that Chicago market, them Black women supported her to no avail. So she had support. She had help. You know, and if you look at how Maya and Gail and all of them hang out around Oprah, they ain't hanging out for what they can get for Oprah. That's their support system. You know, that's her support system. Everybody has to have one. So I think we haven't figured out yet that we need each other. We need each other's lessons. We need each other's knowledge. We need each other's support. We need each other's empathy. You know, I've gotten so many calls in the last few days about my mom, you know, from business people who just picked up the phone and said, I didn't want to text. I didn't want to post on Facebook. I'm calling you. How are you? And you need that sometimes. I think people say, well, I'm not going to call. I know she's busy, this, that, and the other, but not realizing that the person still needs to hear a voice that says, keep going. So when it's all said and done, I think that we don't acknowledge how much we need community and how much we need each other, even to the point that if it's, and there's a lot of communities out there that you have to pay to join. You're not in the country club for free. You got to pay way more than $27 a month to be in the country club. Hello, to be in the yacht club, to be in the motorcycle club. You're not in those, and they have deeper camaraderies than anybody, but you're not there for free, and they use that price as a qualifier. So I tell people all the time, don't let a price qualify you out. Don't let you saying I can't afford keep you from your destiny and from the information that you're supposed to have. So I just came to say hi, ladies. You guys are doing an amazing job. I'm not going to take up all y'all's time. And I love you guys. Keep going. Have a great night.
Thank you, Coach. We love you too. That's how you come in and drop some knowledge. You slide in and you slide on out. Look, I done wrote all over my paper. I'm like, shoot, I don't know if I want to continue talking. But that's true though. That the mission versus emotion, Dr. Regina, that was powerful. And I think a lot of times we let pride get in the way too. And I would be the first one to say that yes, I can get caught up in my emotions and just be prideful. Well, I'm not going to let her know that this is going on. Because the last time I talked to her, she did this. And we hold on to that thing like, man, I'm telling you. And we have to just do better, because really when we do things like that, if Jacqueline and I have a falling out and I need something from Jacqueline, but I'm not going to ask her because I remember back in 2010, she said something about my mom. I mean, y'all, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. LaShondra, tell us a little bit about what you think about that, the mission versus emotion.
That, you know what, that is so true. But I feel blessed that I do have friends like that where we can fuss and you just shut up and come on, let's go get something for lunch. And I don't care if you're mad, you're buying, right? And you need that. You need those types of people in your life that can really, where you can disagree, but you get this thing out. Like, I'm feeling some kind of way about what you said, instead of really holding that in. And I believe in that, because, when I was smaller, I could hold a grudge. Like, I was a professional grudge holder. Right. But that unforgiveness is what did Nelson Mandela say? It's like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. It's not for them. It's for you. And that unforgiveness. Okay. So now I'm about to get some geek speak on you, right? Because unforgiveness, it does make you sick. Okay. It puts you in a state of fight or flight all the time. Your heart is always racing. Your muscle is tense. The blood that's supposed to be up here and your thinking and reasoning has left the building and is in survival mode. So your body is always in survival mode. See, fight or flight is what kept us alive back when we were going to be hors d'oeuvres, right? But now we're not worried about some dinosaur coming to chew us up or anything like that. And so what happens is once the threat was gone, our bodies went back to normal. But that state of unforgiveness, it keeps us in that, oh my gosh, something is going to eat me state. And so that's why we have the high blood pressure and the stress and all of that, because we don't let these things go. And we don't go and resolve them.
You done said something right there. Now, wait a minute. You done said something right there. Listen, and I'm gonna go to Follow Sade next. Listen, let me tell y'all something. That holding unforgiveness, you're right. It makes your bones. The Bible says it makes your bones. Bitterness will eat away at your bones. And you are absolutely right. I never thought of it that way, Lysandra, about just being in a total state of something's going to happen. And basically that's just like, I'm always on the defensive. I'm never, at a place where I can allow others in to my circle, where I can allow others in to really get to know who I am, because I've got my mask up. I want you to see just this happy person, but really behind that, I am broken. And I'm afraid to make a connection with somebody. How do we get past that, Follow Sade? What do we do about that wall that we as women keep up? Because we have some fancy masks. We got our church mask, the one we wear. I still haven't mastered that church face that they wear when they in there and church getting good. Look, I'll just be sitting there with a straight face. Everybody else have all this expression. I haven't mastered that mask. There's a mask that you wear to work where you don't want everybody to know that you're going home to a dark house. There's the mask that you wear in front of your family when, you don't want anybody to know that your husband clowning or your child has gone to jail. We have so many masks that we wear. How do we get away from that? What does that look like? And then how do we encourage our sisters to put it aside?
I think it looked like exactly like me, just spill the beans. And the reason why I say this, because I've met a few ladies and they were kind of like really turned off by me because I was just really open and honest. I'm pretty transparent, and you just have to say something. But we have to now go back to the men's approach to it. They're not concerned about how somebody else feel about them. If you have to let it out, let it out, and be prideful, and don't be concerned about how that person is going to take it or what they're going to talk about you afterwards. But you have to let that go. You have to let it go of your heart, your mind, your spirit, and your soul. And if you don't, if you keep it balled up, like Sandra said, you're going to blow up. You're waiting for something to happen. So just take my approach. Just spill the beans. Somebody's going to cry with you. You're going to find the person that's going to resonate with you in your story and be able to probably walk you through your troubles. But I think the fact is we're just so concerned about what people's going to say that we're scared to say something. But just say it. And however way they're supposed to take it is the way they're supposed to take it. But remember, that goes back to what Jacqueline said. We cannot, I think it was Jacqueline or Dr. Regina, everybody been spitting some knowledge, but we cannot So when somebody said that if they take advantage, I think that was Lysandra, when she said if they take advantage of you, that's on them. If they take advantage of your vulnerability, that's on them. But you have to be open. You have to speak your truth. You have to be cautious about who you speak your truth to. And because we're so stuck up in the society that it's the time and place for that, but sometimes it's not really a time and place for it. If we just spill the beans more, Chanel, I think we will let go of all of those issues. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. We just have to spill it. Speak your truth.
That's good. That's good. Those of you that are watching, thank you so much, guys. Thanks for sharing. I see you guys sharing the video. I see your comments. I love that you're here supporting us, because this is where we start. This is the beginning. You know, even though you guys are not here physically, y'all, there's no distance in sisterhood. We are all here together. We're all seeking answers. We all want to grow. I don't know anybody who wake up every morning and say, I'm not going to grow today. I'm going to stay where I am. And I don't need to mature any. I just need to just stay who I am. I don't know anybody. Nobody wakes up that way. I do want to say hey to Belinda. Hey, Belinda, thanks for watching. I want to make sure I say hey to Atika. Atika, you killed it last week, girl. I can't wait for you to come back. And I want to say hey to Casey. Casey, mommy loves you. Thank you for watching. So I do want to go back to something though. And it's not that, you know, I'm negating what you said, but you know, Jacqueline, how do we get past the emotional? That's easier said than done. You know, you get somebody like me who's, you know, has a tender heart, that cried everything. The preacher preaching, I'm crying. He just talking about tithe and I'm still crying. You know, it's just that emotional piece. And it's easier for some women than it is for others. How do we get past that emotional piece? Or is it even possible?
You know what? Sometimes you have to let it be what it is. Again, moment of transparency. I have a situation with a family member where this particular person, you know, constantly tells me what a bad mother I am and how I don't do this, that, and the other thing, and, you know, things like that. And it got to the point to where I had to say, you know what? I'm doing the best I can with what I have. If you're going to come over here and pay my bills, and since I'm not raising my children right, if you're going to raise them to the standard that you think they need to be raised to, well, go for it. But think about this, because the other issue is I'm not running the street every day. I'm not going to the club every night and asking you to look after my children. Okay, the houses may not be spotless, but the children have food in their bellies and clothes on their back. So whatever else you have to say, you can keep it. And you still have to protect yourself. So that's not to say that you can't forgive other people, but at the same time, you don't have to let all that negativity into you as well. So you may just need to keep some folks at a distance. And like I said, this is a family member. So, you know, you may need to be around family every now and again, but you don't have to listen to that negative speak. And the real tipping point for me was when she started in on my children. Then it was like, oh, time out. You know, you can lay in on me. That's one thing, but lay off the babies. Lay off the babies. I got this. So, you know, and again, sometimes you just have to move on. And like I said, you can still forgive someone and not necessarily have to be around them, because like I said, you have to protect yourself as well and not let that negativity into your spirit so that you're unable to move on. So I believe anyway, that you can forgive someone, but still keep them at a distance.
Wow. Come on, Dr. Regina, weigh in on this. I know you got a mouthful. Look, Jacqueline, all I could think about was them. Good, look, don't you throw, not the babies. Don't say nothing about my babies. Don't talk to my babies, not them. Come on, Dr. Regina. I know you ready to weigh in on this.
You know, Jacqueline, you are absolutely correct. Family, friends, foe, enemy, anybody. Don't talk about my babies or my babies I done raised or babies that you may not be taking care of, because I'm going to be their mama when you don't know how to be their mama. I'm across the street from a school, and sometimes it just makes me cringe when I hear the parents cuss at their children, dragging their children. They didn't ask to be here. They're a gift from God. We should treat them like they're gold. They're precious metals to us. So treat them like the diamonds that they are. You know, we have to recondition their minds that they're lovable, they're kings and they're queens, and we have to treat them as such. So if you're not doing that, don't judge me, because I'm still a work in progress. God said he's molding us continuously. So thank God I'm not where I used to be, but thank God I'm further than where I am now. So just pray for me. Don't come and condemn me if you don't have a solution. Come with the solution so we can work on it and make me better, or either come in and pitch in where you see the lack. And that's what we as women, we have so much to say about each other, but we fail to realize, you know what? I can make a difference. I can go in and put my little 2 cents. I may not have the money, but I do have the limbs. I do have the capacity. I do have the wisdom and the knowledge to put my 2 cents in to help, whereas I'm not condemning and tearing down. Because remember, we're not supposed to tear down anyone. Not even ourselves, because you got to remember, when I tear you down, I'm tearing me down. You're my sister. You're my blood. We're both kings and queens' daughters. So we got to treat each other as such. So when we do that, we have to think about, how is it going to affect me? Am I going to be able to sleep? Am I going to be able to hang up my phone and feel good about it? So, you know, I'm a crybaby at heart. I'm going to let y'all know. The preacher could be saying something, I'm just going to cry. Everybody in church, they know. Let her be. Let her be. She interceding right now. Let her be. Let her go. My husband be saying, Lord have mercy, she crying again. Lord have mercy, she crying. But that's how we are. We feel, and when you're passionate about something, it's going to show. And one thing, I love acronyms. PI. PI means principles, integrity, and ethics. If you don't have those 3 things, I don't want to be bothered with you, because that means that you're not being truthful. Like Philosophy said, you got that mask on that I got to be leery of now, because I don't know how you're going to appear to me. And thank God I have discernment, whereas I can see through your mask, but sometimes it even scares me. So I have to step back and say, woo, Lord, protect me, put a shield around me so I'm protected. But at the same time, what can I do to reach out to them so that they can now drop that mask, so that they can now be elevated? How can I elevate them so they no longer have to carry that excess baggage? When we carrying these masks, it's excess baggage. It's like you're carrying 50 elephants on you when you don't have to do it, when you could just reach out. I need help. And I'm good to say, I need help. Now, I ain't always been there, but I can tell you now, I need help. Help me. I don't know how to do that. I'm in my lane, so help me, because I want to be free. I want to live in the freedom of opulence. So that means that anything that God has promised me, I want it. He wants us to be in good health, wealthy, and prosperous, so that we can spread the love no matter what. So the babies, leave the babies out now. Talk about me, I can take it, but leave my babies out there now, because they are future for the day, not tomorrow, but right now. But if we teach them right now, leave them alone. Let them be who they are. Don't let them grow up faster than what they do. Of course, some of us were latchkey kids, but we learn to be powerful. We learn thick skin. We learn not to wear our feelings on our sleeve like we in business. We have to tell each other, baby, if I hurt your feelings, let me know. Don't talk about this one to Falasha Day. Come and tell me right to my face so I could be the one to say, I'm sorry. Let's hug it out. Let's kiss it out. Let's come to some agreement, baby. I'm sorry. I don't know if you don't tell me. That's where we fail to realize communication is key. And I think that's why the men are so great at that, because they don't have a problem communicating. They don't know how to communicate effectively with us, because we're so closed-mouthed and we're cutting everything in, and we got that mask up, so they scared to come talk to us. But once you learn how to do that, but it takes time. I'm not going to tell you it's not going to be instantaneous, but it takes time. But if you're open and you're willing and you're humble and you're operating in pie, it's going to come. Just let God work and let him arise and keep him first. You be right on track.
But you know that's good, and you know I'm like don't touch my babies. Don't let your mouth, don't let your lips touch them. You got something to say? I'm your huckleberry. Come talk to me. Don't say nothing to my babies. I agree, and I think that fierceness and that protectiveness is just what makes us women. Is that, you know, yeah, men, they don't want you to say nothing, but oh my gosh, you get next to a woman that's in protect mode, and you might as well go fight a bear. I'm telling you, you better off. But I hear all of that, and my thing is, how do we help that broken piece? How do we put our sisters back together when they've been splintered by life, when they've come up against these obstacles and, they don't know who to trust? Because remember, they've been broken. Broken people break people. So how do we reach out to them and connect with them so that they can come in, get what they need, feel good about saying, I have this lack in my area, and then going to somebody like Jacqueline and saying, I need help. I can't do this on my own. How do we, first of all, how do we identify that brokenness? And then what do we do to help move our sisters closer to becoming whole? Lysandra, what do you think about that? Can you speak on?
Oh, I'm so glad you came to me. I was like, oh, please, please, please let this be me. I think that the first thing that we have to do is we need to realize that we were broken people too. And we can see our own brokenness in other people. Okay. And then when we see that brokenness, then we have to be the force to go in there and just wreck shop with somebody. Right. And just to give you an example, when I was in the Army, I had a soldier that was caught up in, she tested positive for drugs, but all she did was she took her sister's Tylenol with codeine. So it wasn't like she was taking drugs, but it's not prescribed to you, so that's an illegal drug. So she had an 18-year Army career that she was about to just let go down the drain because she's like, I don't need this. I don't need this. And so here I am. I'm her commander, but I had to let everybody leave the room, and we talk sister to sister. I'm like, listen, do you want this career or don't you? If you want it, I need you to zip it and let's fix it. And, and sometimes with us, that's where we got to be. We got to be bold enough to be in your face to say, hey, zip it, let's get all of this mess out the way and let's go to work. Okay. Let's not go throw away all of this because you having a problem right now. Now you can be mad, but let's be mad and moving forward. Right. And so I think that's what it is just we have already been through our brokenness, recognize that in other people, and be bold enough to get in somebody's face and break that down and say, okay, let's go. That's it.
Wow. Father Sade, what do you think? What's your approach?
I think my approach is that we are broken. I don't think no one is fixed. Okay. First off, we're all broken and we have to recognize that. So we're not better than anyone else. So when they come to us, we have to provide them that safe haven. We have to provide them that safe haven and let them know that your secrets are safe with me. Your dirty laundry is not going to be aired on Facebook and on Periscope Live. And then the only way that we can show them that is through the community, through Wealthy Sisters Network. Through the community that you guys are developing. We'll show them that, okay, all of us can come together. We can we can laugh, we can cry together, we can do all of this. But guess what? This is your safe haven, and your story, your problem is safe with me. And we're all broken, but we all need to fix one another. I think until we realize that none of us are perfect and really understand that, I don't care how beautiful you are, how much money you make, how much funnels you have, or what your name is online, whatever the case may be, we're all broken people. And I think when we all realize that and we humble ourselves and provide that safe haven through this amazing community, I think that we can win this battle together. I just think we cannot do it alone, though.
That's right. Togetherness is key.
Mm-hmm.
Doing it together as a community is key. Listen, those of you that have joined us tonight, you can't tell me that you have not been blessed by one thing or another that someone has said tonight. You can't tell me that you have not been impacted, or you hadn't had a little nugget dropped that you can't carry along with you for the rest of this week and nibble on that thing. I like to get word and nibble on it and bring it back out and say, oh, okay, this really was good, because it's better the next day when you've had time to apply it to the areas in your life where it fits. And, I love these kind of platforms because we're able to really have transparent conversations as women and not be offended, so that we can really, really examine our lives and say, I'm lacking in this area. And it's okay. It's okay. You heard what Father Sade said. None of us are perfect. Dr. Regina said that we're going to be molded every day until that day in which we'll be made to look like him. So look, everything else, all this stuff that we worry about, is distraction. It's a distraction. We need to focus in on those areas that are broken and join with our sisters, and let's work this thing and fix this together. That's the only way that we're going to make it. As we wrap up tonight, ladies, I want to go to each one of you, and I want you to talk a little bit about why our sisters that are watching need to be here for the Money Masterclass. Let's start with Jacqueline. Jacqueline, tell these ladies why they need to be here next.
You need to be at the Money Masterclass because just like Falashade said, we are all broken. And especially in the area of finance. Now, it may not be in every area of your finance, but there's some area of your finances that are broken, whether it is investments, whether it's saving, whether it's building your home business and saving on your taxes, whether it's credit, your area of credit, whether it's and finance runs the gamut, whether you have no life insurance, whether you and even the stock market investing, if you're interested in that, real estate investing. I mean, some area, there is an area of your life that's broken. Wealthy Sisters Network, the Money Masterclass on September 27th through 30th will assist you in taking that first step to addressing that brokenness and to help you heal.
Awesome. Dr. Regina, come on, tell these ladies why they need to be here.
First of all, we have to learn how to put down those masks. Like I said prior, we're all being molded and shaped in the image and likeness of God. We were all created uniquely and wonderfully and genuinely separately from each other for a reason, so that we have a platform such as this, so that we can now bring together all the knowledge dealing with our finances that we are so fearful of talking about as individuals or one-on-one. Now we could come as a mastermind and now put those bright minds together and come to solutions that's going to catapult us to our next destiny in life, so that we can live a life that is financially prosperous. We want to make sure that we leaving a legacy for our children. Remember, they're our diamonds. So we want to be able to take care of our diamonds, but we want to have our toolbox that is effectively furnished with the tips and strategies that we can implement. Even when we can't reach out to our sisters, we can have that because we already put in all the tools that they've already given and shared with us. So now we can implement it and be able to open them at a moment's notice, but still knowing we have that network of group of women that's going to hold me when I need a hug, when I need to say, sister, I love you today. Sister, you know, you're doing good today. I'm proud of you. You much further than where you used to be. And my motto is, if God hasn't told you today, if anyone hasn't told you today, God loves you and so do I. And there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. So I welcome you. I encourage you to be here. You're going to learn a lot of nuggets that you will never find anywhere else for free. I'm talking about free nuggets that's going to catapult you to the next level in life, so that you can be the person that God has intended you to be, so that you can live financially prosperous. So I tell you, go to bit.ly/join WSNI to be a part of the Wealthy Sisters Network, and also come and be a part of the masterclass, bit.ly/Money Masterclass 17. You will not regret it. I mean, just the little nuggets that I'm getting here, I'm excited for that week. Even though I'm here, I'm excited. I can't sleep because I can't wait what's coming down the line. And if you've been following us since we've been broadcasting, you are not going to be defeated. You're going to be more powerful and excellent and be able to do it in a more excellent way moving forward. Then you'll be able to say, I am empowered, I am encouraged, and I have taken off every mask. I even taken off the makeup and the wig. Hello.
All right now. I know that's right. Look, listen, those of you that are watching, listen, I cannot impress upon you enough the value of what you're going to get during this Money Masterclass. I can't impress upon you enough You have got to find it within yourself to invest in yourself. And sometimes investment is not about money. It's about the time that you take to do the self-examination, get what you need, and then do the work. Don't come and get this information and then not utilize it. These women are pouring into us, going to be pouring into us next week. We're going to be here again on Wednesday, talking again about this, about the Money Masterclass. We're going to have a whole new panel of speakers. You don't want to miss this. Y'all need to be texting everybody saying Wednesday night at 7:00, you need to be here so you can hear what these ladies have to say. Follow Sade. Have we gone to you yet for you to talk to these ladies about what they need to be here to get next week?
No, not yet. Well, ladies, as Pastor Regina just said, this is the place to be. I'm gonna be honest with you. But to really divulge and go a little bit more deeper, as women, we are behind. We're suffering because we don't have the knowledge, we don't have the resources, and honestly, we don't have the necessary connections to really flourish and to become extremely wealthy. If you notice, we have the far fewest millionaires, the far fewest billionaires, and that's reason because of knowledge and resources and connections. So I advise you, if you want the resources, if you want the knowledge, and definitely also the connections, because once you come and see us, you're connected with us. Once you come in and tap your name and tap your hearts, you're connected with us. Guess what? You're closer to building the wealth that you need. So guys, if I were you, if I really want to leave that legacy for my children, I wouldn't be nowhere but here. So come and join us. bit.ly/Money Masterclass 17.
Thank you, Follow Sade. Yes, ma'am. Why would you want to be anywhere else? Why would you spend your Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night doing things that will produce no fruit? Why would you spend your time watching a television show that can't help you with your taxes? Why would you sit up and listen to women that are actresses portray a character that is not real when you can learn what you need to know to get your life to the next level? Why would you do that? Come on, Lysandra, tell the ladies why they need to be here next week.
Listen, Ecclesiastes 10:19 says, a feast is made for laughter, wine makes life merry, and money is the answer for all things. If you have not seen all of these disasters happening, and if these people had more money, right, they could have left their homes. Okay? So the writing is on the wall. And that could be you. Right? And so this is why you need to be here, to learn now what to do with your money. So when disaster comes, you can, okay, we just gonna dial this up right here. We need a flight. Thank you. And going about your business. You need to start getting your family in that position now. It might not be you. And I think that's the other thing, is that selfishness of, well, if I don't see it, then I don't want to do it. But you need to understand, Abraham did not see his fruit come. He did not see his seed scattered as the grain of the sand. He didn't see it. So you cannot be so selfish as to think it might happen right now, but you have to start. You have to be the person where they say, oh, Grandma Falashade, she left us a bundle, right? And I watched this thing that Steve Harvey said. He told the story of, he went to his friend's grandmother's, she was dying, and his friend's grandmother asked his friend, do you know your great grandfather's name? And he said, no. She said, no, you know why? Because he didn't leave you anything. You need to be the one where your grandchildren, your great grandchildren need to know your name. That's why you need to be here.
That was so powerful. Oh my gosh. Girl, you almost made me want to go another hour. We're going to talk about that Wednesday. I'm telling you, we're going to talk about that Wednesday, because what are you leaving for your children's children? Are you leaving debt? Are you leaving a legacy? What are you leaving them? And then the other thing we're going to talk about Wednesday is, if you had to pay rent and you lost your job, do you have enough savings to keep your place, to keep your shelter. We need to talk about those things. We'll be talking about that on Wednesday. Make sure you are here. Ladies, thank you so much for being here tonight. Y'all, everybody need to put up some hand emojis on Facebook. Give them a hand. Oh my gosh, I have so many notes that I took tonight. You guys were a blessing to not just to me, but I know that the women were blessed that were watching. I know that the guys that were watching, they were blessed. I cannot wait until this Money Masterclass starts next week. Those of you, get your seats now, bit.ly/Money Masterclass 17. You don't want to miss it. Guys, have a good night. Thank you so much for joining us. Y'all say bye to the people. Bye.